You. Sorry.
I love it.
Welcome to our Quincy Real Estate Happy Hour podcast. I'm Dustin Vance, sitting with Cathy Anderson, Sandy Freeman. So today we're going to try a little whiskey tasting. We're going to be trying Dirty Monkey Banana Peanut Butter flavored whiskey. It is actually pretty delicious.
We'll see.
If you like peanut butter and you like whiskey, I think this will be very tasty.
I need
Look at
like
the generous.
half that. Or
Twice that?
Yeah, I was just
Twice that.
generous.
Twice that.
Pour.
Twice
Fourth.
that.
Thank
Twice
you.
that. That's what you got.
You can smell the peanut butter.
You can. It's, and we've tried it cold, and I didn't like it. And I'm somebody that usually likes to have things chilled a little bit. I didn't like it cold.
Did you get it in town?
No. Actually, we got it in Iowa between, but at the lovely stop at Casey's.
Oh. I'm
General
going to
store.
Iowa this weekend.
There you go.
Okay, are we
Oh.
going for it?
Go for it. Oh, hang on. Here, take this one.
Oh my gosh.
What do you think?
Oh, wow.
I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So there's a Stromble. Or is it what it's called? That other peanut butter whiskey. I can't remember the name.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Is it Stromble? It's like
Don't
that.
know.
And it's okay.
Wow,
Because they make peanut butter and jelly shots out of
Yep. You can definitely do that with this.
that would be good.
I don't get a lot of banana, but I get tons of peanut butter.
But
I'll
it's
tell
like
you where the-
nuanced peanut butter. You know, it's got a little extra. I like it.
But where you taste that banana is if you've ever had, candy that has a banana, artificial banana, that you get the aftertaste of that.
I really like it.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
It really is. It's amazing.
Right? And I thought having a little cold would be all right, but I don't like it cold.
No, I wouldn't want it cold. Mm-mm.
It's really good. Thank you.
Yes.
So my thought is I would put this in a tall, very cold glass. I know you don't want it cold. With one of those banana popsicles stuck in it, and then a bunch of this and some root beer.
That
I
sounds
could
good.
see that.
We like to mix our whiskeys with ice cream.
I was
So,
going to say ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, throwing it over ice cream, you
Yeah.
don't think you can go wrong.
Oh my gosh, I really like this.
It's amazingly good. I mean, you wouldn't think.
Today we're going to talk about getting your house ready to put on the market. We're going to give you some tips and tricks, and we'll go over some returns on investment. So Cathy, what kind of tips can you give your potential sellers?
Well, when getting ready to list a house, I can walk through the house with the seller. I think that's best to kind of go through the house together and talk about how the house would present the best. Probably flow, maybe removing some big furniture pieces if necessary, or just, if there's too much furniture in the house, to kind of minimize that. I always say clean surfaces for the most part, like tables,
countertops and-
mantles. I mean, not clean, but minimal.
Gotcha.
Some things that you could also do to kind of enhance the house would be like new throw rugs, maybe a potted flower in the front porch, rugs, kind of some little touches that can make it look nice and add some personality.
Gotcha. So what about depersonalizing?
I think so for the most part. Collections, things
Gotcha.
like that.
Yeah. What do you think, Sandy?
They talk about taking personal pictures off the wall. And just talking about our area, people like to see who the people are that own the home. They want to feel connected. And the other thing is, like I have in my hall upstairs, I've got my kids' pictures all the way down the hall. Now I take all those down, and I got to deal with all the pinholes at that point in time. I'm going to take care of that later, but to show the house, I don't really want to have to go through and fix all the walls at this point. So I don't think that's a big thing in our area. In the larger areas, I can see it, but not in ours. But that's a personal choice. We talk to our clients about decluttering, depersonalizing, put the option out, they take it.
Yeah, I think that's it can go either way. I personally, we bought a house one time that had the little collector plates all over the wall, and they were down when we saw the house, and that was one of the first things we had them do was fix all those little holes because it was
Absolutely.
a lot. And,
Right.
you know, when you're buying a house, that's what the last thing you want to think about is having to do all these little bitty tedious things.
Right. And depending on the wallpaper, if it's the kind very expensive wallpaper, a lot of holes cause the buyer to think that it's going to destroy the wallpaper once they take everything down. They have options now to where they can put things on the walls that doesn't destroy it. So
I think if rooms might be painted non-neutral, that it's
So-
probably best to do a little painting.
So yeah, try to make things a little more neutral for the colors and
one of the things I like from time to time is as a listing agent, you go in, you give your perspective, but we also bring other agents in our office to have those fresh eyes because you don't see everything, and the people that live there, they don't see how other people see their house.
That's true.
So it's a really good way to get in there and
So along those lines, people be in there for a while. What about smells?
I was gonna say, we're talking about visual. There's also
Right.
smell.
Yeah, that's one of the quickest turnoff, right? The house could look great if you walk in and it's uninviting.
gosh,
yeah.
there's nothing worse than a dog smell or a cat smell that is masked by a fragrant or a different kind of smell. All that does is intensifies it. So
Right.
you really have to watch how many of those wall units you put
Right.
in there.
Yeah, you get stinky dog and potpourri. It's just
Oh,
stinky dog
my.
and potpourri.
Yeah, it's still stinky dog.
So, Cathy, can you kind of tell us how you tell somebody that maybe they need to do a little bit of different things with the
Right.
smell of their home, or
Well, I think respectfully, but honestly, I mean, it doesn't serve them if the house has an issue that is going to turn off buyers. So,
yeah,
and I think a lot of times it's pretty simple. Maybe put a dehumidifier in the basement. You know, there's kind of that damp basement, musty smell sometimes.
Sure.
There's pet odors. Maybe suggest cleaning the carpets.
Sometimes it means cleaning the returns and the vents because dog hair gets in there. And dehumidifiers are always good for any reason in the basement. It is amazing how much it takes out of just basement smells, let alone any
Right.
other smells.
yeah.
And I think, I mean, I've had only one or two, but, you know, extreme situations where we do have resources, vendors that we can suggest. I think there's maybe an ozone machine.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's the right word, but, you know, definitely professionals that can do some advanced mitigation of
Yeah.
And that,
smells.
that's come to the extreme, right? I think
definitely.
most sellers, a good tidy up. You know, there's times you're going to face a little pushback on it. It's hard to navigate that sometimes.
Right.
We can be as honest and upfront
Right.
and
You
respectful
have to be
as we
delicate,
can,
I think.
but it's still up to the seller's decision. And
I think one of the big things is when you enter a door, that door should look clean and fresh. Door jambs, any of those kinds of things just stand out so many times.
do you know what my big pet peeve is? It's like the vent fans in the bathroom.
Yeah.
If those aren't clean.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and it's one of the first things I look at when
Yeah.
I'm looking at a house. I don't know why. It's just something I'm
It's
like,
true.
to me, it feels like people or somebody going to the extra mile to take care of that home, right? If they're
I'm
gonna
going to go
get
home
a-
and look at mine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're living there, mine would look terrible. But if I was going to sell it,
Right,
You know
right.
that. Yeah.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
Everybody lives in a home. They don't do certain things and they don't realize what it looks like because you get used to it. But fans, they're the worst.
Oh yeah.
Them little babies, they are like hanging on
Yeah.
edges.
Buzz. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then one day you look up and you think, oh my, I never saw that.
Yeah.
I also think buyers can be pretty sensitive to smells, and a lot of people have health issues really with
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
So
I try to cautiously start advising people we're going to need to be smoking outside. We don't want to be smoking in the house anymore.
right,
It's not going to take away the smell; it just won't add to it. You know, if you're not if that's the minimal thing that you do as a seller, that's a big thing. It really does help. People are concerned with the smell and also the removal of that nicotine from the walls. That they could definitely turn buyers off really fast.
Yeah. You know, speaking of pet peeves, do you know one of mine is
I
going
know
into-
lots of yours, but you go right ahead.
Not that I
Sitting
want to
right there.
Right.
Not that I want to just put it out there, but bathrooms.
Yeah.
You go into a bathroom and they have everything laid out. That's
You'd rather
something
not see it. Put it in a drawer, get it off the counter.
you're putting your house up for sale.
Yeah.
You're not exposing your, how how you do your teeth
Right.
and
I
stuff.
think storage tubs are an amazing thing when you go to sell your house. I put things in tubs and put them away. And
I've always told you keep a basket out. When we call and say, hey, we got a showing coming up and it's kind of
Right.
a quick turn, throw everything in that basket. Take that basket with you when you leave.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And then you can bring it back and do whatever you need with it at that time. But as long as it's out of the house and not in the way and not detracting from the home.
Right.
I mean, I know it's inconvenient, but I don't think when you're selling your home you can live the same way as you do
No.
normally.
You can't.
just can't. It's
And that's one thing as realtors we try to help with is make that time as short as possible. right?
exactly.
So we have the knowledge, we have the experience, we're giving you the advice that we know works. It should lead to a faster sale.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yes.
Because you don't want to have to, for weeks and weeks on end, to keep your house picked up and clean because of showings. You
Sure.
want to go ahead and maximize that time, get that offer and get it sold so you don't have to keep doing that. I'm not saying that everyone doesn't do their normal housework.
Sure.
But you do extra when it comes
Well, like
when
we
you're
were
showing.
talking about, the ceiling fans,
Yes.
the bathroom exhaust fans, even the baseboards get a wipe down, maybe, We're doing things a little different.
Right, right.
You have a piece of advice, keeping your house clean with kids. It's
Basically, do the best you can. Now, I'm not saying leave the peanut butter jelly jam smear on the wall. I'm talking about you have a few toys down, or the kids' room isn't exactly the way you want it to be.
I think a lot of people are understanding about that too.
Yeah,
right?
I think so
we all,
too.
we all live in lives and
Yep.
we all have things going on.
And I think people understand for colors as well.
Right,
They go into a
yes.
kid's room and it's like purple and
Well, and it may click. It may be perfect.
Exactly.
For their
But
child.
the first thing you say to get your kid all excited about the house is pick out the color for your room.
Yeah.
I want black. Ooh, good choice.
Yeah. So we've covered a lot of stuff that has to do with houses that have still occupants in it. What about houses that are empty? What kind of advice can we help
Yeah.
with there?
Many times a vacant house shows every little thing. It doesn't look good. It doesn't give you a spatial idea of the room. So stagers are a way to go with that. But I think you really have to look at the circumstance.
Sure.
Right. And I think that comes down to the expertise of the agent too.
Absolutely.
Like, I think that's what you're saying is, knowing whether it would present best staged or whether it doesn't have to be.
Right.
We've got wonderful stagers in Quincy. And
We do. We're very lucky. Very, very lucky. So a lot of choices for
I think a
them.
lot of, and maybe you can help with this, is I know a lot of sellers are probably thinking staging's very expensive. Like, I can't afford somebody coming here, and, especially if I've already moved all my stuff out. They actually come and provide furniture of sorts that make the house look lived in, whether it's for every room or a couple of rooms. Just especially there are some rooms that are a little bit challenging that you're like, well, where's the TV go, or where's the bed go in this room, and they kind of answer those questions for you.
Right.
So I mean, are they expensive?
I think,
It's relative.
right, and I think your return on investment, I think it's worth it.
Yeah. I think that's what it is, because any money that you spend, you go, oh, for inspections it's this, and for it's that. However, you have to look at the big picture. You're going to get more for your house many times if you do spend that money on that stager.
I think it can also be a tool, initially maybe we won't stage, see how it goes. And then
Right.
it can be a tool, hopefully you don't get to that point, but
Right.
After feedback.
Yeah.
I mean, we use not only our agents when they go through, but also buyers that go through. We look for that feedback so we can get back with our
Right.
sellers and say this would be a real good idea to do this, and so on and so forth. But yeah, the expertise, I think, of the agent is the big thing.
Yeah. So another topic that sellers talk to me about is they're anxious to go get an appraisal. Do you think it's worth having an appraisal done before you list your house?
No.
that's what we're for.
And that's
And plus an appraisal is different than, that's
Yeah,
different
that's-
than the market.
That's a conversation.
That's right.
A lot of sellers are the mindset that the appraisal tells them what their house is worth, and I try to educate them and let them know that the appraisal is still an opinion-based value.
That's right.
It's based upon some same data that we're going to pull.
Right.
And they are looking at historical data.
Right, that's what I was going to say. On the
We
past.
are trying to look at what the future is going to do. We
That's
look
right.
at median sell price of homes, average days on the market, all these other little things that help us show a trend in which way it's going.
Correct.
For the price band you're going to be in.
Right.
Right.
The market prices the properties.
Yep.
That's in a nutshell. It will only sell what it's going to sell in this market, and the only way we can determine that is to pull properties pricing for solds, actives, and so on.
And that's something we provide at no cost.
Right.
Like,
Correct.
Even if you haven't signed a listing agreement with most of us, I think there's not one that wouldn't go and give you an evaluation of your home so you have a better understanding where to go.
Right. Right.
I think one other thing we can touch on too, and we try to help our sellers on, is because you value something you've done to your home, it doesn't mean everybody else will. And we got to be very honest and open that yeah, that's a great fireplace. I'm sure you have lots of memories around it. But to somebody else, it's maintenance and it's work, and it's now I got to bring in actual wood from the outside into my home, and it just doesn't always pan out the same. And we got to be careful and try to guide our sellers through those type of situations.
I always tell my sellers, look at your home as if you're going to buy it. See in the buyer's eyes, because many times they don't. They see it in the seller's eyes.
Yeah.
My house is worth this much, and it's worth this much because it's worth this much right now, the way it is. Buyers don't look at it that way at all.
Right. And it's only worth that much if somebody's going to pay you for
Bingo.
it. And because they don't value the same things you do.
Right.
Right.
I'm thinking of some things that I feel offer a lot of appeal, or I hear a lot of buyers comment,
Yeah.
these are general items that appeal, and that would be to me a fenced yard.
Yes.
Lots of people have dogs.
Yep.
Fenced yard, definitely a plus. Garage space,
Yep.
storage space.
Laundry on whichever floor the bedrooms are on.
Yeah.
It used to be main floor laundry was great, but we have a lot of two-story homes here. If you're still bringing it, I mean, you're not bringing it from the basement. I get that, but yeah, laundry room, whatever floor that the bedrooms are on.
Finished basement,
Yep.
or basement. I mean, around
Yeah.
here, I find a lot of buyers like a basement just for a storm, if
Sure.
nothing else.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What other things are buyers looking for that are cheap and easy things that can be done?
I think I hear. I mean, it's a general generic term, but I mean, move-in ready, which encompasses a lot. But maybe it just means some fresh paint.
Yeah.
Some.
Right.
Yeah, the last thing they want to do is think about all the major things they have to fix. They want to think about things that they're going to do, like renovating this or that.
Right.
But if they're walking around, a lot of things are broke or not functioning.
Right.
That's when they start to add those things up, and guess where it's coming off of? It's
Right.
coming off the offer that they're giving you.
Yeah.
Right off the top. Like that's in their mind. They're already devaluing that property by X because of this or because of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that move-in ready, that is definitely a perspective, your own perspective, because
Yes.
many people mean, I don't have to fix a lot of stuff. Many people think, oh, I don't have to paint. I don't have to do a whole lot right off the bat. I can just live in it and then figure out what I have to do.
Right.
So,
Curb appeal. How important is that?
Definitely. I mean, we've all had buyers that have pulled up to the house and driven away without
Yeah.
seeing it. So
yeah.
definitely
yeah.
curb appeal.
Oh, I don't know if you guys have had the situation where I get a buyer that calls me, hey, this listing came on, I really want to get in.
Yeah.
We schedule a time, and then 20 minutes later, do you get a call? Yeah, we're not interested. We drove by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We went by. It's not what we were looking for.
Actually, I advise my buyers to drive
Yeah.
by
I do too.
I do.
at least twice, if not 3 times,
Yeah.
because you're going to get a sense of the neighborhood.
Yep.
You're going to get a sense of what's surrounding it. I had a situation where the buyer didn't know there was a train in the back.
Right.
Yeah.
They wanted to move there because they had trouble with their child sleeping. So they just wanted to see their their new house. They're going to buy, so they go one night and they hear the train. Sometimes that train isn't as bad as what you think if
Right.
you're not
I
around
There's
it.
a lot of people that my aunt used to live next one. You get used to
Yeah,
it. Like
yeah.
you just You don't know how, but you
It's just like anything,
Yeah.
Traffic.
you get to a point, 6 o'clock rolls around, the train didn't go by. Now you're
Yeah.
what's going on?
Oh, it's so
My night's all
funny.
messed up. Yeah.
It's a bit of a comfort, actually,
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of the buyer. But the thing about it is, you get a lot of idea of your, of what you're buying with your neighborhood and everything.
Sure. Well, that kind of wraps up what we were talking about today. We've got some things planned for the future. I think we're going to be doing a remote or a few. And I think, Sandy, you got a little tease on one that we're looking at doing.
New restaurant coming in.
New restaurant. Excellent.
A teaser. Italian bistro.
Ooh, we like it. So we look forward to that. We're going to have some guests stop by and talk to us about real estate and drinks, and we're just going to have a good time.
Looking forward to it.
Yes.
There you go. Cheers!
Cheers!
All right. That was awful.
Well, I notice when I want to have a thought and I don't want to look at him and it takes my concentration, I'll look
hear
at
that?
that wall.
I make her lose
Yes.
concentration when she looks at me.
That's
What
right.
have you guys been having for 2 years?
So I look at the